What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm James and you're watching Blue Dog Aquatics. Now today we're going to talk about what every reef tank needs, and honestly I'm going to modify that a little bit and say what every large aquarium needs. And that, oh, look at these guys. What are you doing? So as you guys can see, these are the backs of our 275 gallon reef tanks or saltwater tanks. We have the overflows here. Everything's plumbed down. You can see we have shutoffs over here so we can regulate the flow depending on what our coral needs or what our animals need. That was just rude. Just spit out sand. But then the water drains down our PVC here, and as you can see right here, it actually connects. So our two returns connect here, that way it can feed, which makes issues a little bit more complicated. Obviously, you can see down here, we have our drainage come from that side, and it comes down over here. And then I don't like hard, sort of like using glue. These quick connects make any modifications really simple. You can see we have our protein skimmer here provided to us by Seachem. It's actually, I was really skeptical about it, but it does a very good job. And as you can see, it's dirty, so it's definitely doing its job. But that's not the key component of what we're talking about today. On a side note too, you can see how all of our electrical is above the water. So that way, if any of these pipes try to leak, it's not going to drip right into our outlets. We also zip tie up the cords just to make it more neat. But the thing I want to talk to you today about is this little guy. This is called a backflow preventer. And let's see if I can get a better shot at it. There we are. That guy is an absolute lifesaver. It's an expensive little sucker. I think it retailed for about $85, and I'm sorry that's so noisy, but we're actually back behind with all the plumbing. Yeah, it was about $85. It was very easy to install. We just cut out a section of plumbing and installed it. But the reason that we put it in there was because for a while there we had a bad pump, and the pump actually would cut out on us in the middle of the night, which caused these tanks to back siphon, which is fine if you have a sump that is big enough to hold that amount of water. If you don't, then you need a backflow preventer, because what happens is if your sump isn't big enough, then all the water from the tanks fill up back here. This entire thing fills up, and then it floods, and it goes everywhere. Ever since we installed the backflow preventer, we haven't had a single issue. We've actually purposely cut power to the pump just to see what it does. And all it is there's actually a check valve in there. So if it feels that water is starting to flow backwards, it actually flips it, and so that the water can't get back in the sump at all. So that way we don't end up with water everywhere. But hold on, let me inch out of here. I actually built this little cave, but it's kind of cool seeing, yep, there's one of our shrimp. It's actually kind of cool that I have this little nook, but my boy Scott, it's his height. Oh my God. It's made for short people. It is definitely not made for tall people. But yeah, so much more quiet out here. But guys, definitely backflow preventers is something that I would strongly recommend. Yes, it is a little pricey, but it saves you from cleaning up one heck of a mess. Or you could spend the extra money, get a sump that is adequate size. Obviously, if it was just one tank right here, that sump would be just fine, not an issue. But since it does both tanks and they're a connected system, it won't hold. And because we didn't want to condemn any more dry goods space, we just went with the one, and it for a while there, it was perfectly fine. Not an issue until the power started getting killed. And we found that very quickly. I mean, there was water all over here. I mean, and this was in a course of maybe 20 minutes. I mean, it went all across. It was completely flooded all the way out. It was flooded on the reptile side. It was absolutely everywhere, and it really, really sucked. And then, you know, we got it cleaned up, and then we would fill the tanks back up, and then the power would kill again. And then it would re-drain. And then we'd have water all over the floor again. And it really, really sucked. So that's when I overnighted the backflow preventer, and it was definitely a game changer. Like I said, we ran test runs on the tank by shutting off power just to make sure that it was going to comply. This is our Emperor Angel. Did you know that as these guys mature, they look nothing like this? They look completely different as adults. Over here we have the, which one is this? See, look. The Coral Beauty angelfish right there. We have a couple of different wrasses in here. This one right here is and let's see if I can pronounce the Miranus wrasse. Where did you go? Stop flying around. Here we are, the Miranus wrasse, and I'm probably butchering that, so I apologize for that. I'm still very new to saltwater, and so I've been learning from my guy Scott, who's been doing this for a long time. We have our little cleanup crews, our hermit crabs, our emerald crabs. You want to see the funniest thing ever? Put in a algae wafer in and watch the emerald crab and the angelfish play tug of war as the emerald keeps trying to inch back into the rocks, and the angel keeps trying to drag him away. Oh my God, it was a riot. These tanks are still very new for us. We still have a lot going, but they're definitely coming along. We moved the GSP out here. We moved the Zoa rocks. We actually shut down our nano saltwater tank, and as you guys have seen from our other quarantine video, we moved all the quarantine in there, which we do have some new frags and new coral that is currently being quarantined. And yes, I quarantine everything. I don't care if it's reptiles, I don't care if it's fish, whatever, everything gets quarantined. Now, you guys remember we have the lightning maroon clown, we have the clown trigger, and he's being kind of a butt. We didn't realize that, well, I didn't realize that he wasn't getting enough, and so he decided to take on our sea urchins, and he actually murdered one and by eating it, so that was interesting. These guys are kind of trippy. I know, I'm sorry about the glare, but they're so weird. These are threadfin cardinals. That blue eye is just so trippy. But anyway, guys, that's a little bit about our saltwater tanks, and we can do more in depth if you guys want on the types of fish and the coral and the care and all that. But the main reason I wanted to do this video is because of the backflow preventer. If you have a large tank that requires a sump, why risk it? Spend the $85, get one ordered, get it installed. They're super easy to install, and that way you don't have to worry about coming home or in the middle of the night, water being all over your floor, because we all know how all the elements go, and if it snows or rains really hard or freezing rain or whatever, it could kill power. And I mean, this is on 100, these are each 75-gallon tanks. And could you imagine if this was a 200? I mean, my whole shop would just have water everywhere. And I could only imagine if you had carpet. Oh, that would be just awful. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Our Emperor Angel wants to say goodbye. And so does our Coral Beauty down there. Oh, now you're gonna come back and say hi? Okay, all right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope this is informative. As always, your tank or mine.